Welcome, welcome. Good gracious. I can't believe January, right? Yeah, January. Well, welcome to another edition of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. It has been a real, I can't even imagine that we are actually in 2024 and we have done so much in these limited days. But today's conversation is something that I had been on my heart for about 4 or 5 months. And with all of the stuff that's coming out in the media with Cat Williams and other artists that are talking about this collaboration and competition, I thought, why not have that conversation here on Creative Conversations with Dr. C? I have a wonderful person that we're going to be interviewing today. I call her my sister. Even though she didn't come from my mom's womb or I didn't come from her mom's womb, we are sisters. And what better way to sit down and have a conversation but with her? Our guest tonight is Miss Shenitha Finesse, who is the CEO of She Publishing. With further ado, I'm going to bring her on and let's start this conversation about collaboration over competition. A must need a conversation today. Hello, sister.
Hey, how you doing?
I am doing great. I was just telling the audience a moment ago, first off, I can't believe it's 2024. I can't believe that we are nearly 3 weeks in to a brand new year. And I had been thinking about this conversation. We talked about it last year sometime about just having us a good old conversation about sitting at the table, making room for people at the table. And so with all the stuff that's happening in the world today with the Cat Williams and the Moniques of the world and the Tarajis of the world, I said, why not have a conversation with my sister? As I said, I didn't come from your mom's womb, nor did you come from my mom's womb, but we're sisters.
Yes, we
And
are.
I can't have I wouldn't have asked anybody else to have this conversation but with you. So I let them know that you are the CEO and founder of She Publishing. So as we talk about this topic about collaboration over competition, can you share with the audience how we met and how our collaboration started?
Wow. And it actually is an inspiration from collaborating over competition. But
Yeah.
first, I just want to say thank you for the warm welcome. Okay, an introduction. You know, I love you, sister.
Uh,
It is great to be here on Creative Conversations. And first and foremost, I'm going to say happy anniversary
oh,
to
thank
Allure
you.
Publishing. Today is their 1 year anniversary. What an honor to be having a conversation with my sister on the day of her anniversary. This conversation is memorializing, oh my gosh, that
Mhm.
this true event. So,
Mhm.
congratulations to you.
Oh, thank you, sis. You know I'm a crybaby, so don't make me cry. It's too early. And
And look,
look, I really do. I have to say cheers
uh,
to my Allure family. It's just been so inspirational. But want to say cheers. Let's cheer it up.
yes.
Boop, cheers.
Ooh,
It's just been
you
amazing,
didn't drink.
amazing journey. And
You didn't
yeah.
take a drink.
Oh,
Hmm.
yes.
No.
I could not do this without my Allure family. I mean, from Paul to Miss Weed to Genesis Lachey to our new author Shakita Lane. Without them, Allure would not be possible. And as we talk about today, this collaboration that we have, it would not be possible without my She family. So I thank you, Queen, for allowing me to be in this space, to be at a year and have done so much in such a short period of time. But I'm looking forward to another years to come as we branch out and do more things and ensuring that we are able to give people the opportunity to share their masterpieces with the world. So thank you.
Look, absolutely. And so
Mm.
just to get down to how we met.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. And what I always say is this whole relationship that we have, it was
Mhm.
already written, it was already meant. I just didn't know it was gonna happen.
Mhm.
But so one of the authors that we have currently on our She family, in our She family, her name is Elogia. I believe she may have told you about publishing with She Publishing.
Mhm.
And I remember having a conversation with you that I will never forget because I was in the midst of a fire drill.
Mhm.
Okay. And we had been removed. We were supposed to go down to the cafeteria.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, well, I'm just sitting here. So let me just call, just have a phone call. So
Mhm.
I'm talking to you over the phone, and it was just like a beautiful conversation.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. I was talking about us, uh, our have being a family. Like that is our motto. That is what
Mhm.
we do. We're all about that family atmosphere, true family atmosphere.
Yes.
Trying everybody collaborating, meeting the other authors, seeing what they are good at, their strengths, and
Mhm.
bringing your strengths together to create something extraordinary, right?
Mhm.
And so basically, we've met. You decided that look, we're gonna do this family thing. And when I found that you had about 6 books inside of you, I'm like, wait a second, and just your determination and just hearing your
Mhm.
story,
Mhm.
and to know that just maybe a couple of months ago or a year ago, you had been faced with a very serious health condition and situation, and you started this, and I'm like, I really like this person,
Mm.
you know, and if she's interested in being a sister publishing company with me, you
Yeah.
know, and basically, if you want to take the right, but
Yeah.
that's how we basically met, and that's
Yeah.
how this whole collaboration came together because I can't publish everybody. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's enough for everybody, you
At the
know?
table. At the table. And I think that's the piece that really hit home for me when we had our conversation was, as you said, it was already written. It was just that time and that moment was ordained for us to have that conversation. But what really stood out for me was I had did a little bit of research, not a whole lot of research on publishing, but when I spoke to my best friend, which is Aloja, as you mentioned, and she knows I'm very OCD about certain things, and I like things to be in its proper places. And so when she started talking about you, and she said the first thing she said, sis, I already know. I would never bring nothing to your table if it ain't right. And I said, okay. So, but when we had our conversation, it was like the stars aligned. And when you said family, that sparked something in me because even in my 9 to 5 and what I do, it's always about family. And so I remember the key word in that whole conversation. We talked for about an hour, hour and a half, probably.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
it was a long conversation, but it felt like I had knew you forever, right?
Yes, that was crazy.
It was just so genuine. And it wasn't fake. It was just so genuine. And I remember getting off the phone, and it was just like this aha moment, like, okay, go ahead and call her back tomorrow and let her know you in. And I
But guess
did.
what else? But guess what else it was?
Mm.
Look, and I'm just joking around, but it's the truth.
Mm. Yeah, it
We
is.
both crybabies.
Yeah, we are.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And we born in the same
We're
month.
sensitive.
We born in the same month. So it's some stuff here that we knew we didn't know, but we now know because now we've had the opportunity to really hone in on this relationship, right? And a
Yes.
relationship that's built off of. I can call you and say, sis, I'm about to jump off this ledge. Can you help
Exactly.
me out? Right. And so, as we talk about this topic about collaboration, it's interesting that the collaboration is not based on gender. It's happening across all walks of genders, right? So the
Yeah.
question is, what is it that makes us feel like you are stepping to a space that you're not supposed to be stepping into? Because even with me and you having the conversations that we have all the time, like I'm up all night long,
Mhm.
and I'm like, look, I could shoot a text to you and say, look, I know you sleep, but when you get it, just but what is it about this relationship it's that keeps us at odds in with one another, about to kill each other, about to sue somebody? What is it that we're missing? Because what I find, sis, is that we are being poor stewards over the resources that we should be pushing out to the new generation.
Yeah.
And so the question would be is, what can we do? What strategies is there for us to have? Now here's the deal. I know everybody can't get along with everybody. I get it. But I remember listening to a conversation today or yesterday where a gentleman was talking about this thing with Cat Williams and Steve Harvey and all these other comedians. And what he said, which made total sense to me, is he said, if it wasn't for a Shannon Sharp of the world opening the door or opening the conversation up for me to have a podcast to bring people on my couch to talk about, he gave me more. He's giving me resources, he's giving me money. So why can't we continue to do that? What is it? Is it environmental, an environmental piece? What is it? What do you think?
Oh yeah, like there's a couple of different components in my opinion.
Okay.
Um so number one, just like with the publishing industry,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Somebody opened this up before we did. Okay? I didn't come up with this publishing idea
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
Another publisher did. Now, although when we started our company, although when I started this particular company, I didn't do any kind of research at all on other publishing companies, but in my mission statement, I do give praise to those who started this industry before I
Mm-hmm.
did.
Mm-hmm.
And so, number one, I think it's important to give homage to the people who started something, who gave us that door, who dig those holes, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
when we were talking, um, to open that door,
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's one issue.
Mhm.
The second is like everybody has their a story to tell. Like everybody has their own story,
Yes.
and we all have our different mindsets about things. So while you're thinking somebody is maybe taking something from you or something like that, maybe that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
From one stance,
Mm-hmm.
but then from another stance, somebody did start this game. So,
Mm-hmm.
come on, let's give that homage.
Yeah, I agree,
Um,
sis. I agree. I think a lot of times they fail to realize that you're standing on the shoulders of somebody else, and it's okay to give them their praise or give them their roses while they're here. And so I think where we miss the mark a lot of times is that we don't know how to humble ourselves, right? And in humbling, it doesn't mean that it's taking anything away from you. It's just meaning that you're being human and say, hey, you know what? Hey, sis, you know what? I like that idea that you use. Is it okay if I use it? Because I know that's your idea. But I think that it'll go well with what I'm doing. It's not taking anything away from you. Like we sit down and have conversations all day long about
man,
things that we're doing. And it's never about I'm taking something away from you, because there's things that you do very well And there's things that I do very well, but we bring them together at the table and be able to eat good at the table.
Exactly. See, I feel like when you collaborate with
Hmm.
others, that grows innovation, that grows creativity because as I
Yes.
mentioned, everybody has their own story. Everybody has lived their own life. So while I'm thinking this way and you're thinking that way, we going at some point we're gonna need change and
Hmm.
innovation and
Hmm.
creativity. So I may be like this. So I'm able to talk to you about things and you could say something and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea.
Hmm.
You know, just like the fact that it's your anniversary, you will be having your spectacular event in September,
Hmm.
September 21st. Lulu
Yes.
having their shindig, their authors event. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, well, we coming down there and we
Hmm.
gonna celebrate with you guys and we gonna do our things here.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I don't
Hmm.
have to have an event here because my sister is having an event. So why not collaborate
Hmm.
like that
And support. And
and support?
I think people need to probably, as I said, not too long ago, I was telling somebody this resolution thing. You know, everybody got this New Year's resolution. And I was having a conversation with somebody, a coworker of mine, and it was a nice debate. We wasn't about to hit each other, nothing like that, but it was a nice debate. And I was just telling her, I said, sometimes we have to step outside the box and change some things. Stop saying resolution. How about redirection?
I love
Right?
it.
And so for me, my 2024 mantra for me in 2024, this season is talking about redirection,
I like it.
repurposing, realigning. And I mean realigning those goals that align with our purpose. Because if we continue to have this mindset that nobody is able to take ideas, because people think, like I sit down and think all day long, and my kids say I'm
I
when she
know.
oh, it's bad. It could be bad or it could be good. But won't take that and just run with it and think that it's automatic. I'm going to sue you for this or I'm going to do this for you. If you are true to the game, true to
Mhm.
what you're doing, then it's okay to say, hey, sis, look, I did X, Y, and Z, but I'm letting you know because I'm putting your name out here. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm letting you know that this I think is a great idea. Stop saying how about support?
You support.
It's support. It's I'm supporting what you're doing and you're supporting what I'm doing. I'm giving homage to you because you did X, Y, and Z before I did. I'm standing on the shoulders of you because you did it before I did. Right?
Yes.
And so I think we have to have the mindset that we all have the ability and the talents and the creativity to be able to sit at a table. Now, if you want to sit at a table and be at the front of the table, then that's by all means. But by sitting at the head of that table, you got to remember that you wasn't always sitting at the head of the table.
Yeah. Well, look, that's why we create our own circles. Like a table is a
Yes.
circle. Okay.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
means there's no head.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
So, no, it ain't no
Hmm.
leads and this and that.
Hmm.
No, everybody is bringing something to this table.
Yeah, and we
Um,
eat good. We eat good because
yes,
it's just not us as the CEOs or founders of these companies. We have people on our roster who have talent that's unbelievable, right? And we want to hone in on those things. We know that their
yes,
first purpose is to be authors, but they have other things that they do too. So it's still a collaboration that we do with our authors, as well as we sit down and have conversations too. I know,
yes,
as you mentioned, we're doing something in September. Again, it's about passing the torch, being able to support, being able to say, you know what, I can't do this by myself. You know, I always tell people the events that you put in on these last two events that I've gone to for your galas have been beyond. I can't even find the words for them. But I
oh,
am the teacher. I'm not, excuse me, I'm the student, you're the teacher. So I'm like, I want to get all this so that I know what I'm doing, right? But it's not saying that I'm stealing anything from you. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? I want to see what the best of the best do, the cream of the crop do. And so why not pull up to the table and say, "Can I ask you a question? Can
Yes.
I have can I take a few minutes of your time to ask these
Yes.
questions?"
Yes. You were there from beginning to end. Okay.
Mhm.
To
Mhm.
see all of the stuff that's put into like a number in the number, I would needed you too. I didn't
Mhm.
even know how much I needed you. You know,
Mhm.
I needed your room. I needed your
Mhm.
support. Everything that was, and so it's like, so now you could say, take this and say, okay, what somebody told me, roses and thorns. Okay,
Mhm.
what went well, I can use that.
Mhm.
What didn't go well, let me change that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That
Exactly.
that that's what this is about. When you were talking about our authors and collaborating and this and that, let me tell
Mhm.
you how this author orientation came about.
Yes.
So we're having an author orientation and starting January 31st,
Mhm.
going into February 1st. And I
Mhm.
may have to add a Saturday, just a few time slots for people who are unable to make either one of those.
Mhm.
Um, but that came from an author. Okay. That idea came from an author. All right. And he's going to get the materials for that course free because
Mhm.
you helped me with this. I'm going
Mhm.
to let everybody know it's because of the collaboration. This is a publisher author collaboration. What
Mhm.
happened was they needed more direction. It
Mhm.
was like, look, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Am I supposed to be feeling this way?
Mhm.
Is am I supposed to? And I'm like, everything that you're feeling, other authors have felt. We all feel
Mhm.
different things at different
Mhm.
points in the stage. And I'm like, what can we as the publisher do to support you more?
Mhm.
And they're like, man, can you do some type of new author something?
Mhm.
Something that I could have my goals written down and maybe we meet again in 6 months. And I'm like, okay, let's create. First, it was a new author orientation, but then I said,
Mhm.
no, because it's authors that we have had on the roster
Mhm.
who still may need support. So I'm like, we just gonna simply call it an author orientation.
Yeah. Because again, they're all in different stages of in their authorship. And so again, giving them the tools and the resources to help them get them to the next level or the next stage in this game is important. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. I can't say I've heard any other publishing company that's doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? First off, I tell people as publishers, we wear many hats.
Don't we?
Many hats, many hats. So many hats. I stopped counting after probably 15, right? But we
Okay.
love what we do because we love the people that we are connected to. And I
Mhm.
tell people all the time, we have this running joke that we are intentional about the people that we bring into our circles,
Oh yeah.
right? And being intentional means that we want to make sure that that collaboration or that support that we're giving our potential authors is genuine. Because again, as we say, this is a family affair. We
Right.
take pride in that, to say that this is a family affair, and we want people to feel that way, because word of mouth is how we get people come through the door. But I always say this to
Absolutely.
you, sis: if you're operating in the right lane, doing the right thing
Mm,
all the time, you don't have to solicit for anything. You don't have to,
that's
because
it.
you're doing the right thing. And the biggest thing that what we get as publishers is the money factor. Right? Like, you come to the table, but you want my support, or you want to collaborate with me, but you have an opinion, which is great. But for you to ask me why I'm charging this, and we always say, please do your research.
Oh,
Do your
absolutely.
research to make sure that this support or this collaboration that you are pending to possibly join, because it's still intentional, is if we want to bring you on. I want you to be very educated on those decisions, because what for me might,
Mhm.
for people who say like $1,000 is nothing, but to somebody else it can make or break them. You know what I'm saying? So intentionally we
Absolutely.
have to do that. So I think the collaboration that we talk about goes beyond a lot more things that people don't realize. And so what do you think, what outside of us talking about it, what other strategies do you think will allow for the conversation to be much more peaceful in a sense? I guess that's the word I want to use. What is it that we can do, or what is it that we as a whole can do we already got enough stuff already out here. We
Mhm.
got enough stuff out here that we're working against already. What is it that we can do to make that piece be a little bit more smoother?
So, number one, I would say show and prove. Okay, we got to walk the walk.
Yeah,
It has to start somewhere.
yeah,
If we going to talk the talk, let's walk the walk. Let's show and prove. And this is what we've been doing.
yeah,
Okay. We
yeah.
collaborate, we share information. We're both affiliated with the Library of Congress now. When
Yes,
you learn things, you share them with me. When I learn things, I share them with you.
yes.
And again, like you have to create your own circles because you may not have the bandwidth to take on everybody in the world. And that's the second reason to
Mm,
collaborate.
mhm.
Okay.
I agree.
It's like you cannot do it all. You know what I'm saying? It's 1,000 publishing companies out here because it's a billion people out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So exactly.
I agree.
So you gotta have a bandwidth. Now, number three, which is really number zero, is the whole peace factor.
Yes. Say it again, sis.
Peace,
Peace. Yes.
you
Peace.
know?
Not PIECE. Not that. Not a piece of chicken. Peace.
PE, okay?
Yes. Yes. Peace.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my gosh, like I want my peace. I want my serenity. So why do I want to be in competition with you? No, um, not at all. Now what I will say, I think there is some healthy competition.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Healthy competition, there's some unnecessary competition, okay?
Yes.
Like
Mm-hmm.
gymnastics. I was just at a gymnastics event, Windy City Gymnastics. One of our authors, Darion Knight, he puts this on every year at Navy Pier. And that's a competition. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
as publishing companies, other publishing companies, it's somewhat of a good, nice competition because people are trying to see who do I want to publish with. That's
Exactly.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally fine. But if you a publisher and you ain't got publisher friends, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to need a publisher friend or a publisher family, number one, to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I love talking to you. You got to talk me off the ledge sometimes. Like I have to bring stuff to you. Like, now, can you please let me know if what do you think about this? I
Yeah.
want to make sure I ain't and
Mm-hmm.
tell me right, sis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Of
But
course.
but then mhm.
Yeah. No, go ahead, sis.
Yeah, but then again, that exit strategy,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
I have over 50 authors on the roster right now. What if something happens to me health wise? I
Mm-hmm.
need to know that I can count on someone else to take hold of all these projects and keep them going and keep them alive and things like that. So we are constantly trying to build stronger and sustainable relationships,
Mm-hmm.
with each other. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of collaboration.
It is. I think I think a lot. I always tell my children all the time. We well, I hear them say that that's my friend. Those are my friends. I would always say, well, I need you to elaborate on what friendship means, right?
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
In the circle of friendship, friendship means that I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to tell you things that need to be told, but I'm telling you from a place of love.
Yes.
I'm not telling you from a place where I'm just doing this because I'm just being spiteful, right? So when you say, sis, I like having conversations with you, and I know that you're going to tell me the truth. That's where the collaboration bridges itself, right? It submits itself because now I not only do I have somebody that I can actually have a conversation with, because these conversations that we have with publishing, it's it can be something small and it can be big by the time we end up, at the end of the
Exactly.
conversation, right? Because you're like, well, did you
Exactly.
think about that? Well, did you do that? Well, did that? What? Yeah, I didn't think about that. But you're bouncing off ideas. And again, the conversation that you're having is not built on how can I get beyond her and make her look smaller than me. No, it's I'm building this relationship, like you say, because I feel like if something was to happen to me, I can reach out and say, hey, I got my sister over here. I know she's gonna take care of my baby
Mm-hmm.
as if it was her own baby, as if
Yep.
she birthed it herself. So I feel good that if I have to
Mm-hmm.
take hiatus for 4 or 5 months, that everything that I'm
Exactly.
giving to her is going to be all right. But
Yep.
also the other thing to that is the level of communication that you have with somebody. So I think a lot of the times when you have those breakdowns of this collaboration or this support, it's because they're either you have not changed your mindset,
Yep.
or either you've grown and the season that you were in is now over and you don't know how to let go as an adult and be right about it. But that's where it comes in. You have to have maturity along with that. And I think a lot of times the maturity level is where it breaks down because people don't, they think people are at the level that they are, but they're not. Instead of having a conversation, let me have this conversation. Let me talk to you. Let me come over here,
Yeah.
as it was said. Come here, little homie. Let me have a conversation with you. But I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of it breaks down is the mindset and the maturity level, and not having the ability to be mature enough to have a conversation about it.
Yep.
I
Totally
really
agree.
do. And that's just my take on it. I think a lot of times we just got to realize that sometimes seasons come and they go.
Man.
And so sometimes, again, as you said, sis, give them the honor to say, hey, if say as they say, and as they talking about Catwish, if he took your joke, just say, so you know what, while I'm telling you this joke, let me tell you, it was such a great joke, I needed to put it in my routine. And I'm paying homage to whoever, whoever did that joke first. No difference than we're saying the same thing. Whatever
Yep.
we do, we always make sure that we put it out there to say, this is my sister company, this is She Publishing, or this is Allure, or whatever it is, or if whatever that might be, that platform, whatever, we make sure that we are honoring those people. Because again, as you said in your mission statement, you're paying homage to the people that laid this foundation well before you were even thought of,
Out of, honey.
right? Thought of. So,
Exactly.
so why would I do any,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
I think we have to have set the example for our younger generation, because like I said, we're doing a disservice to them if we're sitting back
Yeah.
saying, pointing fingers. And as you said,
Yeah.
unless you got proof, then you just pointing fingers just to be pointing fingers.
Yeah. Because this is twofold. Like this is not
Mhm.
I think we have to so I'm gonna start with I love when you talk about having the conversation.
Mhm.
Having the conversation, number one. A lot of people don't have the conversation and they jump to conclusions.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm just gonna take just because She Publishing started before Allure Publishing doesn't mean I'm top dog.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean I'm coming in the room sitting at a head of a table because again, our table is round.
No.
our
Mm,
circle and family of authors is round.
mm,
Okay. So anybody coming thinking they top notch, oh, you did this, you did that. Oh, it's because of she
mhm,
that the Lord is here. Look, yeah, I totally get it. Like I said, this was written. But one thing I am not going to do is go and say publicly something, and I have not had the conversation with my sister.
mhm.
Okay, that's something that I just wouldn't do. You know,
No,
I'm not just gonna throw you under the
but
bus
mhm,
because I thought you did something or
mhm,
whatever. I
mhm,
am
mhm,
definitely gonna have the conversation because sometimes the breakdown, you don't really you're thinking these things,
mhm,
sometimes we be thinking these things and it's really not what it is. Like
mhm,
maybe you had a situation and you text somebody and they didn't text you back, and next thing you know, you're like, dang, did I say something wrong? Did I do
mhm.
something wrong because they didn't text back? And it's really nothing,
It's
okay?
really
It's
nothing.
like just
Mhm.
have the
Conversation.
conversation first
Mhm,
so that we don't have all of this rigmarole and everybody
mhm.
is
Ulcers.
saying these different things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. It will
You know,
eliminate the extra drama and chaos that you're creating it for yourself. And that's the thing. That's why I always tell,
like drama, sis.
yeah, drama. The drama is just
Drama.
like I wrote in the book, and we're gonna talk about this book.
Yes.
I put in this book. I'm gonna show you how this collaboration is so unique and so
Mhm.
genuine. I'm such a crybaby, but anyway.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I can't wait to see it. Like,
Um, we talked about doing a book, and the book that spun this next book was a book that I did after I had my medical issue. And I realized the book itself was called A Love Letter to Me. And hold on one second. Sorry. So this is the book that spawned this collaborative talk. And I realized
again,
that, huh?
can we see it again? Because I
Oh,
have my book
sure.
over there, but can we see
Okay.
it
Yeah. So,
again?
um, so,
Beautiful.
so the book was something that I had in my head for years, and it as my sister said it so beautifully, it was already ordained. It's just at the time that I had it in my head, I couldn't release it until this event happened. Which I think people are probably already know. 2 years ago, on January 19th, I had a stroke. 2 years ago today, I flatlined and died. So today is my rebirth. And that's why I purposely um, gave this date for Allure Publishing, because it allowed me to be rebirthed, in a sense, to refocus. The most important thing for myself was life, and to live. I was not living, I was just existing. And so after I wrote the first few books, I wrote this particular book. And so I was having a conversation with my sister here, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I want to do anthology, because I try to send my sister my books, and like, I want you, we talk about, I still tell me what you think. I'm finna send you this. Tell me what you
Yeah.
think. Is it too broad? Is it too tissue moment? What is it? Just tell me.
Yes.
And so we talked about the book, and it's a very short read. However, I said, I think this book has allowed me to reawaken my spirit, and I think it'll help somebody. So, that being said, I brought this to her attention, and we are doing a collaboration on this particular book. So, it's a love letter to
Oh,
ourselves. And so, it's a collaborative. uh book, um with not just the authors on my roster, but authors on her roster, as well as she being in it as well too. So she has a love letter in that book as well too, as well as I do too. So again, me having the conversation to say, some people, you could be selfish and say, look, I'm not giving that to her for what? But why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not? Because I always tell people mm, allure was not meant for me. Allure's platform was meant for everybody else.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so if I'm the vehicle that allows people to be able to share their stories, because as you said, sis, everybody has a story.
Yes.
So whether they come to you, whether they come to me, whether we meet in the middle, we are vehicles for them to be able to get on that train. Again, it's
Yep.
intentional too, because only certain people gonna get the ticket, but
Mhm.
it's
Right.
intentional, intentional that we do this collaboration because again, it's benefiting somebody else.
Yes.
It's leaving a legacy for people. And that's what we want to do. Again, as we talk about this collaboration over competition, let's think a broader, let's think deeper into what we are trying to do and what we're trying to leave our the next generation.
And this is just exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That book, A Love Letter to Ourselves, is the definition of collaboration. And it's also the definition of bringing more innovation
Yep.
to the publishing industry.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this
Mm-hmm.
is a huge milestone. I feel like we are making history with this book.
Mm-hmm.
And it started with what you needed to do for yourself. And now what you have done for us,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Calinthia Miller, aka my sister. Let me tell you, I have never wrote a love letter to myself.
Oh wow. But you know what? It frees you. It gives you
It's
the ability
beautiful.
to say that I'm free. And one of the things that I put in this book was it allowed you to own your freedom through writing. Oh, I wasn't supposed to be crying. But it did. I had to be able to say when God gave me another opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, my story could have been different. It could have been different,
Mm-hmm.
totally different. So why not give this opportunity to other people? Because they might not get it again,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
allowing, I was just telling you, I was at a dentist appointment doing looking at the edits and stuff, and I was literally crying, literally crying because people trusted me enough to give me their love letter. And this is the first time I've ever heard you say this is the first time you ever wrote a love letter to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's all about affirming who we are and our existence in this world. So when we say existence in this world, that's a collaborative effort that you just didn't
Yeah.
make yourself. Some people help you put some things into your mixing bowl and mix up
Yes.
who you are. Now, maybe there might be some junk in there and maybe some stuff that need to be thrown out. But in the same token, it's a collaborative effect. And so
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be able to say that people trust me, as trust me enough to say, hey, I'm giving you this vulnerable piece of me.
Yeah.
I'm pulling down the layers of this onion and I'm digging deep, even though I'm crying because this smell is getting, but I'm digging deep. But I want to give it to somebody who's going through that same journey
Yeah.
collaboratively. And
Yeah.
so it's just an honor to be able to put this out to the world and maybe
Yeah.
share it with some schools, elementary, high schools, to let people know that we go through stuff and you're not by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not by yourself. And so as we move into getting it published, and as you mentioned, the Library of Congress, thank you again for sharing that. Because you know me, I was about to pull out my hair about this, but that particular book will be the first book from as an anthology that will have the Library of Congress number on it. So I am
Yes.
so thrilled that 17 people trusted me enough to put that into a book. And
Wow.
so we're not stopping there, sis. We got another one coming because I after I
Excited.
closed closed it and said I can't take anybody. I got 10 other people say like I got something for you. So I don't know if this is going to be a series, maybe.
It
But
is.
well, yeah. Um, but I really am just honored. I can't say it enough.
Me
Honored that
too.
people have taken my my invitation and ran with it. I mean, to the point, I think we started off saying that we only needed what 350 words. Uh,
Exactly.
what
50
we started
pages.
off like a page. I mean, literally, it grew from. I think we started off with like 38 pages. We're almost over 80 pages in the book.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
it's amazing, but it gives you exercises and allows you to start your own love letter. Something that
Yeah.
we need to do starting now. You're never too old. I think my oldest author in there is 70.
That's beautiful.
So, but
Beautiful.
again, sis, I think it's unique. The relationship that we have is unique, and it's unique on two levels in the sense that we're sisters, that our relationship is only not well 2 years old, 2 years old,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but we have done so much in those 2 years, right? But then also too, it also allows me to understand that we get to choose our family.
Yes, we do.
You know, we're born into a family, but we choose. We have the ability to choose our family. And so again, as I tell you all the time, I am so honored to be able to call you my sister.
Me
And I say
too.
that genuinely, you
Absolutely.
know, and I tell people like my son, my son tells me, "Oh, did you talk to?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I haven't talked. I'm going through withdrawals." He's like, "Mom, I tell you," he said, "I had never seen nobody talk to a person for so many hours." So we have so much to talk about, you know.
We do. We
You know,
do.
but and
Yeah.
we're almost to the end of this interview. What do you want the audience to know or take away from this topic of collaboration over competition? How do we change the narrative? And I'm putting a pun on that, the narrative of what that should look like, because I am very scared for what our young people are seeing. You know, so what do you want? Oh, because you have girls, beautiful girls, and I have boys. So, what do
No.
you want to leave as we close this interview up? What do you want to leave us with, and suggestions as to what we should be doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a huge question. How you-
You got
So,
it, sis. I know you got it, girl.
but, like nobody's perfect.
Mhm,
I have my own mindset. I just
mhm,
I try to remain humble.
mm,
I try to remain teachable.
mhm,
Um and just hopefully, this can be an example to our children. We just saw your son before this,
mhm.
and it was
Yeah.
just great to hear him say what he said. Like he's
Mm,
watching us and our kids are
mhm. Oh,
watching
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So again, like I can't say it enough.
Mhm.
You gotta show up.
Yep.
You gotta show. you
Mm-hmm.
know. Mm. So that's what I'm hoping, like at minimum, with the mistakes and just being human
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that, hopefully they grasp these things that we're doing and that we're
Mm-hmm.
showing on to bring positivity,
Mm-hmm.
to what we do.
Yeah, I would agree, sis. I think we are their first role models. And if we don't be honest, have an honest, transparent conversation about, hey, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'm
Exactly.
be the first one to say I'm wrong. Allow me to stand in that. But after I do it, don't beat me up for it and keep saying it over and over,
Exactly.
right? And
Give
it
grace.
right, give me some grace. And sometimes I think in my book I talk about a love letter to me. I talk about giving people grace, allowing grace to be what that really starts the conversation, giving me grace to say that maybe I did not know, maybe I was not aware, maybe it was not done intentionally. So giving me grace, and I think grace is the big piece of it, where we have the ability to sit down at that round table,
Yep.
be able to put those ingredients into those bowls and be able to disperse them out to people and let people know that I'm your sister. I'm your brother. Even though we didn't come from the same womb, I'm still your brother. I'm still your sister.
Yeah.
Please pull me to the side and have the conversation with me if you think I've done something wrong. But don't throw me out there in front of that big CTA bus and get me rolled over because I didn't know,
Exactly.
right? So that's where the grace starts off that conversation about how we approach this collaboration over competition. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping and I'm praying that more conversations will be had about how we don't look at my sister over here wearing the red bottoms and I'm wearing these other shoes from Payless or whatever. Is Payless still open? It don't matter. But anyway, let me come and have a conversation
Yeah.
with you and tell me, how did you strategically get there?
Yeah.
That's the
And
conversation that you want to have.
right. And I know we're
You're almost done.
approaching time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like as publishing companies, we may do things differently,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so just because I do it this way, why don't you have a conversation with me and find out
Mm-hmm.
why I'm doing it this way? Are you
Mm-hmm.
going to pay for legal fees when somebody wants to sue me
Mm-hmm.
somebody else published your book and we
Mm-hmm.
don't know who has the publishing rights to the book, so now we're
Mm-hmm.
in a situation.
Yeah.
I totally
Yep.
get it. You have to do what's best for you, and I have to
Exactly.
do what's best for me.
Mhm.
Okay. Everybody ain't meant to be family, but
Mm.
everybody there is meant to have a family. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying?
I agree, sis.
So
You said that so beautifully. I think again, and we're approaching our 5 minute mark, but I think at the end of the day, grace, conversation, and
yeah,
being able to be vulnerable to say I was wrong. It's
yes,
okay. It's enough. We already got enough division as it is. We don't need no extra. We really don't. We don't have the capacity to be able to be having this stuff. Yeah, we definitely need to have a talk about it. Definitely.
exactly.
Because we can't keep on sweeping it under the rug. But
Exactly.
don't just disclaim that person because they decided to have a conversation 15 years later or 20 years later. Okay. Ain't it?
Yes,
Okay. What do you do? Now let's have the conversation. We still gonna have to have the conversation, right?
yes,
But and like you said, even though you might do something different or do something different for me, doesn't mean that we can't have the conversation. Let's have a conversation and tell me why you did it this way, and I'm gonna tell you why I did it this way.
exactly.
You know, but it's all about, again, grace, communication, and being able to be transparent to say I just didn't know.
Yeah,
I just didn't know, and I'm not taking anything away from you. And if I offended you, it's okay to say I'm sorry. It doesn't take anything away from you. It just shows that you are human and that you
Absolutely.
know that things happen and it wasn't done intentionally. But I want
Yeah.
to showcase this before I get off this line. You think you slick. I know you got a book coming.
Oh my God. Stop it. Stop
Mhm.
it.
I know you got a book coming. Tell the people what book you got coming.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, yeah, the name of the book is From Projects to Publisher. And it is a tribute to each and every author that's on our roster because there is no she without you guys, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very meaningful to me, and I've been writing it and being at it, and while still publishing, right? You
Yeah.
write books, knocking books out. That's two of your books right there, unmatched.
Ooh, yes, 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 yes.
But
Yeah,
yeah, so it's been great writing that book.
it
And
has.
it's
I
not
think,
gonna be perfect, but it's gonna come from the heart. You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's where it needs to come from. When you, like I said, if I can't say it enough, sis, if you operating in the right lane,
Hmm.
and that means it doesn't necessarily be the lane, but if you operate in the right way, whether it's from the heart and being very truthful about,
Hmm.
it's gonna come out spectacular, and I know it is. I
Exactly.
know it is.
Exactly.
So
Thank you, sis.
I can't believe it's been a whole hour, sis. My
This
goodness.
how we do.
We could talk forever, but we ain't gonna talk. We
We
ain't talk.
ain't. We gonna get a people a rest.
We'll give them a rest. But I want to thank you for again coming on Creative Conversations with Dr. C, allowing the people to see what true collaboration looks like. And it's not a competition between me and you. It's truly about sisterhood. It's truly about the love that we have for each other. It's truly about the love that we have for the people that we serve, because those people we serve have a story to tell. So I thank you, sis. I thank you, my queen, for allowing me to have this moment of time so that people can actually see what we do, and it's meaningful to me for us to have this conversation. And I know this is not going to be the last conversation that we gonna have. It's gonna probably have so many more to come. But I thank you for this well needed conversation tonight, because it's plastered everywhere. So at least if we don't do anything else, at least people can see there's some positivity that does come from collaboration with my sister or even with my brother.
Yes.
So I thank you, my sister, for this enlightening
You.
conversation. With that being said, we're going to say goodnight. We will be back sooner than later. I'm not for sure what the topic is going to be, but it's going to be something. So just stay tuned. If you're not a part of Creative Conversations with Dr. C, I am on Facebook. Please join that conversation. There will be one coming up in February. So stay tuned. Again, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. And again, to my 1 year anniversary, to my peeps, we got more to go, more things to do. So we're going to say good night. Good night, everybody.